Howdy, howdy, howdy. We're talking adding, we're talking decimals. Let's do this thing. So this very first page, it says rewrite each problem vertically and solve. So when you're adding decimal numbers, it can be tricky because you're often dealing with two or more digits or two or more place values. So adding them horizontally, pretty hard to do in your head, and that's why it's important for us to write them vertically. So I'll go with my very first term here, which is 3 4/10. And I'm going to write my next term right below it. But before I do anything, I'm going to make sure my decimals are lined up perfectly. So the decimal for 6 7/10 is right below that decimal there. Doing so makes certain that my decimal place values, and rather all my place values, are lined up together. So my tenths are lined up, my ones are lined up, and that way I'm not adding tenths with ones and tenths with hundredths or whatever. I'm adding tenths with tenths, I'm adding ones with ones, and that's going to give me the correct answer. So your very first step is to make sure your decimals are lined up, and therefore your place values are lined up. Okay, you need an adding sign, Mr. Lewis, yikes. And then the next step is you drop the decimal below for your answer. Notice all three decimals are lined up in a straight line, okay? If you forget to put the decimal down first, you might answer your question and forget to put the decimal, and now your answer is way too big, not correct. 4 plus 7, that's 11. I put the 1 down and I carry the other one. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 6 is 10. And my answer is 10 1/10. I'll do one more. Next over here, we've got 12 8/10 plus 9. And this can be kind of funky too because 9 is just a whole number. There's no decimal portion with it. We have to remember though, all whole numbers have a decimal. Sometimes we just don't write the decimal there because if there's no decimal number after it, it'd just be kind of redundant. It'd be kind of a waste of time to put the decimal. But if you see a whole number with no decimal, we know that once you find the ones place value, the decimal is always to the right of it. So it's 9.0, or we could say 9 0/10. Okay? And that's exactly what I'll write. I'll line up my decimal. I'll put down 9. I'll put a 0 there just so we have the same amount of place values. Okay? I could put infinite zeros if I want because we know that there's infinite zeros to the right. And anyway, I've got my my decimals lined up. I'll drop a decimal, addition symbol. Let's start adding. 8 plus nothing is 8. 2 plus 9 is 11, carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 21 8/10. And that's that, folks. Have fun. Happy adding.